Welcome to the Indira Gandhi National Open University's certificate program in communication skills for BPO and IT enabled sector personnel. So, as a leader of this industry and also the president of the NASCOM, which is the apex body of the Indian software industry, I would like to have a brief comment on you about the outsourcing sector in India, especially with the IT enabled sector.
Well, let me first congratulate IGNOU on introducing this course. I think it's extremely important that courses like this are introduced. As far as the potential is concerned, I think in the last 10 years, this industry has grown at 30% per year. We are approximately $47 billion. And the market in the domestic side has also been growing very rapidly. So the market is just not global, but also domestic. Out of this, almost about 30% is what we will call ITES. And ITES is many things. It's not only voice, it's a whole lot of transaction processing, very high-end work that goes on now. I would believe that what we have done in the last 10 years, we have significant potential in the coming years. Our most recent analysis that we have done together with McKinsey indicates that by 2020, the opportunity for us in this space will be almost 3 to 4 times of what it is today. And we expect that if we can get our act together on education, on infrastructure, then this industry is not constrained by demand, it's really constrained by our ability to execute. Our belief is that the domestic demand and the global demand for us could get us revenues to the extent of $225 billion. Since this industry is entirely people-based, right, I think it offers a great amount of opportunity for our young people, not only in the technology space, but every space, because today when you say ITES, it has no definition, right? It includes every business services that we have been able to conceive, but even more ahead.
Quite a lot of time you refer that as, that is, I presume that is especially for Indian. So why you think that, this kind of India is a favorable destination for this kind of IT enabled services and jobs? So what is the main reason behind?
Well, I think there's not one reason, there are so many reasons. I think we have a track record, we have proven it, that anything that can be digitized, moved globally, we can do it. But fundamentally, I think there are several. I think if you look at the demographics, today we are blessed that we have people, young people, and if they get the right education, then they have proven themselves to be worthy of their jobs. So I think that's one big key reason. The second is that we have been able to transform the model here and get it. So I think we have been able to prove that we are not only able to transition the work, but also transform it. So I think because of that, we have established credibility. Third, I think India will continue to be a cost-effective country, and I think we would always see that there is, we can deliver even better quality at lower cost and faster and transform it. So I think that is the reason that it would be happening. Indian companies are also getting global, so it's not only out of delivering from India, but we have to deliver it in other countries as well. It's not only in English, but other languages. So India cannot offer all those languages from here, but can do it outside. Within this country, I think the opportunity also is very large, because the GDP growth itself would fuel so much more outsourcing within the country. So, and that is also a big opportunity in our rural areas, because if you look at the work that we have to do in the domestic, doesn't have to be done in English, it can be done in any other language as well.
See, what are the kinds of jobs you, in this industry, especially in the outsourcing, especially when the young people come forward, they are job seekers, and as a job providers for this kind of young people, those who are aspirant of new jobs, and especially IT enabled young people, what are the kinds of job you involved in this industry?
Well, I think it is, when you talk about the kind of jobs, it's only limited by our own imagination. But if I have to classify, then we have 3 broad categories of work that we do in this industry. One is the work related to IT, which is very clear as to what the IT is, and that goes beyond normal things. It includes applications, infrastructure, remotely done, and a whole lot of design and innovation that can happen. The second is ITES. ITES, as we said, can be in any vertical, banking, finance, healthcare, utilities, almost in every area that is there. In horizontals, it could be in finance, it could be in HR, it could be in analytics. So there is a endless opportunity there. And the third area is what we can call design and engineering, right? So anything that can be done today, all the design happens in this field on the computers and using software. So that's a big opportunity because we could become the design hub for the world. And when you talk about that, we should not limit to just this. There is animation and gaming, which is becoming big. So our youngsters who are 10+2 can get trained specifically on animation and earn jobs. So if you compare ourselves with the previous 10 years, and if I have to go 10 years beyond, I think the opportunities are huge. But these opportunities are not just because you are young and you are educated, you have got to skill yourself to do it. I have a big concern today, and most of us in the industry, that we get educated, but we don't get ourselves skilled to be employable. So in our industry, we spend almost 40% of the human cost to train people. And I think it's important that students invest time. This industry can offer a lot of opportunities, but they have to change their own mindset and be able to pick up skills, and rather than wait for somebody else to give them.
As you rightly pointed out, you are investing a big share in terms of training in human resource, IT enabled and other skills. So universities and colleges, they are just still doing the typical subjects, mathematics, science, social science, history, all these things. So being a national open university, we took this initiative of launching courses in this IT enabled skill and IT enabled sector. So what do you think, whether this kind of initiative can be replicated by the other universities? What is if they will do so, what is the scope in future?
Well, I think there are 2 or 3 issues that you raised which are very important. One is the job of the schools and colleges is to educate. And during the process of education, they can pick up some skills. So I think it is important for people to still go through history and science and maths and all that. I think it's important that they go through that because that is the education process. But that education has to be made relevant, right? It has to be made relevant because things are changing very rapidly. Hence, those course curriculum of all that you mentioned needs to be updated, right? Today, because there is a gap in the speed with which we change our curriculum, interventions are required. And I think that intervention can be given through a finishing school or through programs like the one that IGNOU are raising, etc. But the biggest thing is that if you look at the volumes of the work to be done, faculty upgradation required, new course curriculum to come up, and it to be changed rapidly, we would have to use technology to get this done, right? Along with technology, because we need the best faculty, and the best faculty teaches, and that is able to be replicated through technology and is beamed. We still need faculty to be providing in the classroom some interactivity that is required. But also I think there is a change of the mindset that's required, that we are going beyond a certificate, beyond a degree. So even in case of IGNOU program, we hope that the student is not taking up this course because they will get a certificate. Okay. The certificate is only a proof of their going through. The real proof is that certificate's value if they can get a job and they become employable.
So what kind of employable skills you are looking forward from a prospective employer?
Well, I think there are many skills that the employee needs to come up. Today, if we are employee-based industry, right, I think they have to have social skills. They have to have communication skills. They have to have some subject matter skills. And I think all the 3 are required. Having just one or the other would not take them forward. And I think that grounding is extremely important. So today, while they get a little bit of each, right, I think we need far more of all the 3 skills to make it happen. And why it's important? Because you need to work through teams. You need to be able to communicate to your customers across countries, across wires, you have to be very crisp, right, and the time is short. And on the other hand, the role of a generalist is gone. You need to be good at something. You have to pick up a skill that somebody can find value for.
For an ordinary student, a job in the IT sector, they think themselves, it's only the English proficiency and some computer skill. In addition to this, when you recruit people, what you find lacking mainly among these students?
Well, when you talk about English skills and so on, that would mean that they know how to read and write English and maybe speak. But there's a huge gap between reading, writing, speaking and communicating, right? I think they have to be crisp, they have to carry. So when we look at the current people that come out, so let me break this up into two parts, because there are the technical part of, so they come with some technical skills, but again, that technical skills need to be honed, they have to become more relevant, and sometimes there's a little bit more theory. But I think what they lack is certain amount of capabilities in any specific area. And particularly when you look at analytical skills, right, we find that that's missing. We find that communication skills have to be honed. Social skills are less. And at the end of it, they don't have any vertical knowledge of any area. So let's take the case of a BCom person, right? Now, they're supposed to be getting among the BA and BScs, BCom is the most specific because it says you are commerce. But today, that commerce person, when he is making himself ready for, say, accounting, they're being taught, how to do accounting. But today, all the accounting is done through electronically. The transaction processing is done. So do they understand how transaction processing can be done globally? And I think it's important that in BCom courses, that's taught as well.
So now we are talking about KPO, knowledge processing outsource. So what are the processes that involved in knowledge process?
Well, I think we can give whatever name we want to, right? Somebody likes to give it knowledge process outsourcing, somebody says analytics and whatever else. Fundamentally, we are saying that there is tons and tons of information that's available, right? When consumers buy, they leave a trail behind about how they buy and what their patterns are. I think that analyzing that data, and there is also a lot of information that's there, and being able to come out with certain decision rules, right, to be able to make value of that data is what KPO is all about, right? And you can give your own explanations to it. So I think that needs very clearly, capabilities with numbers, capabilities to analyze, right? And that needs an analytical skill as well. And then to be able to use that data and convince somebody that that data and the conclusions are based on information and could lead to a decision.
So apart from this student's point of view, in just a layman's, common man's point of view, how this IT, the prospects in the IT sector is contributing towards the overall development of our country, because economics are saying our country is not at all a developing country. Now it is going to be a developed country within few years. So how this boom in this sector is contributing directly or indirectly to this?
No, it's a very, very pertinent question. I think this industry has contributed a lot. We are now $47 billion as an industry. If I have to just look at the foreign exchange earned, it's equivalent to 65% of all the fuel bill that we pay. I think it's very significant. We have created directly 2.2 million jobs, which is 22 lakh jobs. For every one job that we create, there are 3 jobs downstream that get created, because there is training, there is cafeterias, there is public transport, right, and everything else that we create. 45% of all new urban jobs created in the last 10 years were created by this industry, right? We have, if you look at the 6 big centers where today IT and ITS companies operate, the growth of education measured by number of students has gone up 7-fold. It's 7 times what it used to be 10 years back, right, in those 7 centers. So I think it's contributed. But I think more importantly, besides all these numbers and so on that it's given a name to the country, right? I think it's acknowledged today that India is a significant player, and I think, it's added a matter of pride. But more importantly also, I think it's increased the aspirations of current youth. This industry's average age is 27. So all those 22 lakh people I spoke about, the average age is 27, and these people are the ones who have demonstrated to the world that given an opportunity they can deliver.
And that is, as a last point, would you like to say a few words which will motivate our learners to pursue the studies in this field?
Well, I think people are blessed that they were born in India, right, and they have this great opportunity. But I think this opportunity is because the world is giving us this opportunity, but it is not for, we have to earn it.
Yes.
So I think nothing can be done without hard work. I think we have to apply. We have to, today's youth should get more committed and sincere. It has almost become a issue that, the jobs are for granted. No, I think you can go up. So you cannot talk your way through, you have to walk your way up, right? And I think it's very important that the young people understand that when they get into the corporate world, right, they are not only servicing their company, they are servicing their nation and the world. And I think hence the responsibility on them is extremely high. So I hope that through your courses and so on, people are not only picking up a diploma or a certificate, but they are truly learning from it and taking the courses very seriously, because only then, when they absorb all this, will they be able to deliver.
Thank you very much, sir, for spending few of your valuable time with us for the benefit of our students and for myself also, and also for the benefit of the common man who is again going to have the benefit of the IT enabled sector and the IT industry.